So the U.S. and Ukraine have just signed an economic development deal, which of course includes the mineral rights deal, which President Trump promised. It's hard to overstate how significant this is, and we'll talk about that later. But first, let's get the details from Secretary Bessent himself. Here you go.
And this is a Fox News alert. Major breaking news out of Washington tonight, where the U.S. Treasury Department just announced the creation of the United States Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. Now, this is part of that Ukraine minerals deal that the administration has been working on for months. And here with the details is the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, is with us. Scott, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. This is a big deal. It's good for America. It's good for Ukraine. I believe also will be good for Europe in a lot of ways. And tell us the details of that.
Sean, it's a great deal. Thanks for having me on tonight. And look, this is President Trump's deal, that he's done trade deals, tax deals, and now we've got this Ukrainian American economic partnership deal, and it's win-win. It is a way to show that there's no daylight between Ukraine and U.S. as President Trump presses to end this horrible war. He wants both sides to come to the table now by showing that the U.S. has an economic interest in Ukraine. It's a signal to the Russian leadership. It's also a signal to the American people that we have a chance to participate, get some of the funding and the weapons, compensation for those, and be partners with the success of the Ukraine people, bring American know-how, best practices to the rebuilt Ukraine. But the rebuilding can't stop until this war ends, and President Trump is committed to that.
So this deal may not have ended the war in Ukraine, but it is one heck of a big step closer to doing that. The important thing is not just the finances and recouping the investments that this country has already made in Ukraine as far as sending weapons and supplies to Ukraine, but it's the signaling that it sends to Russia saying, listen, it's over. We just have to sit down and figure this out. It is huge that Zelensky, who is so obstinate about not giving up this and not signing this and not signing that, has actually signed this. I think that's a big signal from him. And I think it's a big signal to Russia that this war just needs to end. And that is going to be a challenge. It's getting through to Putin's head that this thing needs to end. I think, of course, the part nobody's talking about just yet would be land. You know, Zelensky has really dug his feet in saying that he wants Crimea back, he wants the Donbass, he wants Luhansk. And I think the reality is that he's beginning to understand that's probably not going to happen. That's going to be the sticky point, not just with him, but convincing Russia that, okay, if he does give up Crimea, if he does give up the other regions of Ukraine, then why aren't you signing this peace deal, and why aren't we ending this thing? That's the leverage that we now have over Russia. It's going to be very interesting to watch and see how this develops, because I think the talks, there's no reason not to have them between Russia and Ukraine, Zelensky, Putin, and the U.S. This war is going to end. And this economic development deal, the mineral rights deal, was a huge step in that direction. Stay tuned, because more is going to change. And the next step is getting Putin, Zelensky, and the Trump administration at the table and end this war ASAP. Like the video, give it a thumbs up. See more like it, including the updates that we know we're going to have. By all means, subscribe. Know somebody who's interested in the same information. Share it with them. As always, until next time, God bless. Love you all.